Radical self-love and body image. I am super excited to be talking about this issue today. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 visualizations that I believe will help you transform how you view your own body, your own self, your own body image. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give you 3 tools that you can implement today to start the journey of transforming your body image. So stay tuned. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Barbara Heffernan, and I help people transform their lives without spending years and years in aimless, amorphous therapy. So I have begun a number of online offerings, including this YouTube channel. I have a free Facebook group I'll let you know a little bit more about in a little while, and a couple of online courses and programs that will move you towards transformation so you can live the life you would truly like to be living. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I release a new video every week, and give this video a like. I really appreciate it. One reason I came up with this topic of radical self-love and body image is that in my Facebook group, I ask people 3 questions when they join. And one of those questions is, what blocks you from joy? And another one of those questions is, what gives you joy? And for the question, what blocks you from joy, so many people answered that their body image blocks them from joy, or their weight, or their eating issues, or overeating, or basically just feeling badly about how they look. And I think it is so tragic that in our country, it almost doesn't even matter what you look like. So many people don't like themselves because of how they physically appear. And so I would like to help transform that. So before I begin with the visualizations, I want to ask you to just take a moment and bring up how much time you spend obsessing about what you eat, what you're planning to eat, how you look, how other people think about how you look. If your body image obsession is about something different, say you're balding, or you have, your eyebrows are too thick, or whatever the issue is, take a moment to really think about how much time you spend obsessing about that. And just imagine if you didn't spend your brain energy on that, what could you do? What could you accomplish? How happy could you be? So let's get into it. The first visualization. I would like to ask you to bring to mind somebody who truly made you feel loved. So this is also probably somebody that you love, but somebody who made you feel like you were okay exactly as you were. And I know for me, the first person that comes to mind is my maternal grandmother. And she just always, like when I was little, like 3, 4, 5, 6, I just remember always feeling special, even though I was the middle of 5 and there were a lot of kids around. My grandmother just managed to probably make each one of us feel like we were really unique and special. So she's the person who comes to mind for me. And when I did a similar topic in a Facebook Live group that I have, people brought up their grandparents, an aunt, a mother, different people. It could be a mentor, but really, really bring that person to mind and visualize them. And I want to ask you, as you're bringing them to mind, if that person were 10 pounds lighter, would you love them any more? If they were 20 pounds heavier, would you love them less? If they were younger or more beautiful, would it make any difference in how you feel about them? And I am pretty sure that the answer is no. And this is a very important visualization to really take to mind, because we don't actually love people based on how they look. That is really not what makes us love somebody or not love somebody. It might impact, when you're dating, how attracted you are to somebody. But to really love someone, it is unrelated to how that person looks. And yet we seem to have this false belief that if we were taller or thinner or prettier or more handsome or more muscly, or if we look differently, we seem to think people would love us more. And it just simply is not true. So that's visualization number one. Visualization number two is to picture a baby, a young baby, a few months old, discovering its toes and its fingers. So you can just sort of picture a baby lying on its back and, waving its hands, waving its feet, maybe it manages to get a hand in its mouth, and the joy that that baby feels in its body. So bring that to mind, and then I want you to remember that you were once that baby. You once had that kind of natural, spontaneous joy and love and awe about your own body. And the third visualization is to bring to mind a toddler, let's say 2 to 3 years old. And I'll actually see if I can play you a little video clip here. But bringing to mind a toddler, 2 to 3 years old, and somebody turns on music and the toddler just starts to shimmy and dance and delight in their body. And movement is delightful. Movement for children is a natural, spontaneous joy. And we have somehow, as adults, turned movement into drudgery and into something that has to be done to achieve something else instead of just play. So I would like you to bring that visualization to mind and that concept of being able to play in your own body. That's a great face. This is from an Evian commercial, so wanted to make sure that I listed where it's from. So I'm recording this the first week in January 2020, and a lot of people have been doing their New Year's resolutions. And for a huge number of people, they will have on their New Year's resolution something about losing weight. And it could be losing that same 10 pounds they've been trying to lose for like a decade, but that will be one of their New Year's resolutions. And what I ask people is why? Why does that become such a high priority for you? And many people will say, well, then I'll feel better about myself. If I lose that weight, I'll feel better about myself. And I say to them, what if you could feel better about yourself right now? What if you could feel okay with yourself exactly as you are and feel better about yourself whether you lose that weight or not? And people, when I say that, will look at me like I have three heads, like, what are you talking about? But if you really drill into the values that are underneath wanting to lose weight, at some point it gets to being admired by other people, because people don't love us more based on what weight we are. Yes, we might feel better about ourselves temporarily, but then we also probably will be obsessing about not gaining it back. And the amount of mental torture we do about this is enormous. Other people will bring up health, and I agree. If we were focusing on our weight and body issues solely based on how we felt, the entire world would be different on this issue. So if health is your focus, then sure, eat healthy because you feel better. Exercise because you feel better, because that is what health is, not just physical health, but mental health is doing things that we enjoy, that give us more energy, give us more life, and all of that is awesome. But so much of what's happening today is really what I would call anxious obsessing about eating and calories and steps walked. And I had a client who had a Fitbit, and if at the end of the day she hadn't walked 10,000 steps, she would berate herself. And when I first began to question that line of thinking, she thought I was kind of nuts, because she was like, well, I was lazy. I didn't get the 10,000. I'm like, who cares? 8,000, 10,000, 12,000, 4,000. Days differ. We don't have to do the same thing, but we can get so obsessive about this stuff. So I'd like to take a second and address the term radical self-love and why I included that term. And for me, radical self-love, radical, by the way, one of its meanings is root, kind of root, core. Radical self-love is really about our birthright, that baby who loves itself, loves its body, feels joy in its physicality. It is the Buddha nature, if we talk in Buddhist terms. It is our authentic joy. It's actually one reason that I named my online business Awaken Joy, because I feel that we do have this birthright of joy inside us, and it gets covered over and by trauma, by the different things that our society teaches us, by the gender conformity that our society attaches to so strongly, that everybody's either male or female, and male should look like this and do this, and female should look like this and do this. And if you don't fit these molds, if you don't fit them, then you internalize the shame that the society puts on you. And our body shame right now as a society is out of control. It really is. So radical, going to the root of who you are, the root of who you can be, and really the joy and self-esteem and self-acceptance that is your birthright. So let me share with you 3 tools that you can use and implement right now to begin the journey of transforming your body image. And feel free also to join me in the Facebook group that we have if you'd like to have more interactive dialogue on topics such as this and other ways to improve how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the world, and overall your ability to feel joy. So, tool number 1, stop using body shaming language. Let's think about this for a second. So many people walk around saying, I'm fat. No, you're not fat. You have fat. I have fat. Pretty much every human being has fat. We might have more fat than we would like, and we could say, I have more fat than I'd like. I would like to have more muscle and have less fat. That is a totally different statement than I'm fat. And let's take another one that people use a lot. I'm a fat pig. You're not a fat pig. And can you imagine like saying the opposite? Like I was trying to think of what might be the opposite of I'm a fat pig. I'm a graceful gazelle. Can you imagine walking around saying to people like, I'm a graceful gazelle? Like people would look at you like you were out of your mind. Yet we can walk around and say, I'm a fat pig, and then people will say, no, you're not. And it becomes like a form of bonding, particularly among women, this self-effacing, putting oneself down, particularly one's body, to bond. And it's incredibly destructive and incredibly It's like these are thought worms that get in our head and then they go around and around and around and we believe them. We end up believing them and identifying. So not to use the phrase I'm fat. You wouldn't say I'm muscle. In fact, we're 98% water, and you wouldn't walk, or some high percentage, it might not be 98, but you wouldn't walk around saying I'm water. So don't walk around saying I'm fat. You might walk around and say, I would really like to exercise more, or I'd like to eat better. Fine. Those are completely different statements, and they're not full of shame, and they're not body shaming. So, eliminating your body shaming language and thinking about what's amazing about your body. So, to honor and be grateful for what your body does and what it provides you rather than berating it all the time. So that's tool number one. Stop using body shaming language and start appreciating the awe, like having awe for what your body does do. Tool number two. When people have something they don't like about themselves and they walk by a mirror, they look only at that part. So let's say somebody really dislikes how their stomach looks. They'll walk past a mirror and what do they focus on? They focus on their stomach. Somebody else might hate their eyebrows. They walk past a mirror, all they do is look at their eyebrows and say, gosh, I have horrible eyebrows, or they're too thick, or they're too thin, or whatever, or I hate my nose, I hate my chin. But people will look specifically at the things about themselves that they dislike, and every time they look in a mirror, they'll criticize themselves. And think about this if this was somebody else in your life talking to you this way. Like, you probably wouldn't put up that with that relationship, and yet with your relationship with yourself, you will continually berate yourself for the things you don't like about how you look. So tool number two is that when you go past a mirror, look at the part of your body that you like. And even right now, bring to mind what you like about yourself. Do you like your eyes? Do you like your hair? When I talked about this in my Facebook group, somebody said they love their shoulders or they really liked their arms. Awesome. So when you pass a mirror, look only at the part of yourself that you like and say something nice to yourself. Tool number three is to concentrate on how you feel. So with regard to both eating and exercise, generally when we eat well, we feel better, and when we exercise, we feel better. So focusing on how you feel with food, not whatever statistics you're thinking about or whether you've labeled food good or bad or anything like that. And I definitely don't want to make this talk about specific diet issues, but I read a book, I'd say 15 plus years ago, quite a long time ago, called Why Wait by Janine Roth. And I don't know if she was the start of the intuitive eating movement, but she really focused on eating intuitively and how many people have blocked their own natural ability to feel their hunger, to feel their feelings around food, to know what their body needs, and being more in tune with what your body needs in terms of guiding your decisions. And she suggested that you eat along a scale. So if you go from 1 being you're totally starving to 10 where you're totally full. And so at 1 you would like eat your own clothing, and at 10 you are so full you can't get off the couch. So if you put the scale like that, her recommendation was always to stay between a 3 and a 7. So never eat more than about a 7 on the full scale, and don't let yourself fall below 3 on the hunger scale. And it's a great way to begin to get back in touch with how you feel when you eat, rather than what you think you should do. So I really encourage you to begin to transform how you treat yourself and your body, and for you to develop awe and wonder and appreciation of the body, the vehicle that you are living your life in. This is your vehicle. For good or for bad or for whatever, we have pains, we have sorrows, but our bodies also give us a lot of pleasure. And for us to be able to appreciate that and know that our worth in this world is not based on how we look. And so I hope you take that to heart. Let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and please subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you the next time. Okay, let's stay there, scarf. What do you say? What do you say? This part is inside out.